This is Nick from the SA Web team, and I will be giving you a quick overview of the ecom world. So there's approximately 29 servers in our production environment and 9 core applications that keep ecom up and running. Starting off with the web servers, they are all running Windows Server 2003 Web Edition, which means the maximum specs for these servers is 2 CPUs and 2 gigs of RAM, all load balanced through the F5. The rest of our application servers are running on 2003 Standard Edition, 2 CPUs, 2 gigs of RAM, all load balanced through the F5. And yes, I know what you guys are all thinking right now. However, we are currently going through a LCM project, and for our future servers, they're going to be running on 4 CPUs and 6 gigs of RAM. The application pools will contain 3 servers on the F5 for load balancing. The business logic layer is one of our main components. We currently have 16 web services running on them and making calls to the fastest database through the broker servers. Ping Federate. It's our single sign-on solution, which allows users to be authenticated to multiple applications using a single username and password. CA SiteMiner is our centralized web access management system that enables user authentication. This is what talks to LDAP and Active Directory. It is also SAML compliant, which Ping is not. SAML stands for Security Assertion Markup Language and is designed for business-to-business or business-to-customer transactions. Ping and SiteMiner work hand-in-hand together. Ectron is our web content management solution for ecom websites. It enables ecom to create, deploy, and manage enterprise-scale personalized websites. It is also a top choice considered in the market by clients that use .NET as the core architecture. Thunderstone is our web indexing and retrieval system for medical and payment policies. EOP is what allows providers to download electronic versions of their explanation of payments. And PCP allows members to select primary care physicians on the member portal. App Fabric extends Windows servers to provide enhanced hosting, management, and caching capabilities. ecom currently uses App Fabric for caching. When a web service operation is called, it is cached so that the fastest database wouldn't need to be called on again. Our API Pimli servers are services that are provided for our third-party partners through the provider's web secure space on our web portals. SCRUM Methodology. What is Scrum? It's a focused but flexible methodology that empowers self-organizing teams to work on the highest priority or the highest return of investment type of work through an iterative process. This methodology can be applied to everything from software to building construction. So who are the key players on a Scrum team? First, there's the product owner. They are responsible for what goes into the product backlog and prioritizes it. The product owner also represents the project's key stakeholders and makes sure groups' interests are at the forefront. Then there's the Scrum Master. They are the team facilitator. This person ensures that the teams have what they need to get the job done and sets up meetings to coordinate efforts. Rather than possessing management authority, the Scrum Master empowers their colleagues to work more efficiently with each other and related departments. Then last, there's the developers and testers. They basically write the code and make sure it does what it's supposed to do. What is a project's product backlog in Scrum? The product backlog contains a wish list of all the user stories that would make a product great. In Scrum, features are known as user stories and are written from a perspective of an end user. The product owner, who represents a product's users and customers, decides which stories or items would make it into the product backlog. What is a team's release backlog? The goal of a given release is to deliver a subset of the product backlog, known as the release backlog. After identifying which user stories would go into a particular release, the user stories become part of a release backlog, which are then prioritized by the development team, who estimate the amount of time needed to complete each item.
What is Sprint and how does it work in Scrum? Each sprint, or short duration milestone, takes a manageable chunk of the release backlog and gets it to a ship-ready state. Sprints generally range from 5 to 30 days in length. The shorter the release cycle, the shorter each sprint should be. At the end of each sprint, you should have a fully tested product with all the items in the sprint 100% complete. What is a project's estimation in Scrum? While most estimates are inaccurate, there are things you can do to help improve your team's estimation techniques. For example, one simple method creates estimating buckets, where user stories are ranked by their complexity. The key is to make sure no item is estimated in between the buckets. For example, a 6-hour estimate would fall under the 8-hour bucket and therefore would have an 8-hour estimate. This system provides leeway for items that are occasionally over or underestimated. How are burn-down charts used in Scrum? The progress of a team is tracked using a burn-down chart, one of the best project visibility tools, and usually represents a project's progress. The burn-down chart provides a day-to-day measure of the work that remains in a given sprint or release. The slope of the graph, or burn-down velocity, is calculated by comparing the number of hours worked to the original project estimation and shows the average rate of productivity for each day. Knowing whether or not the project is on time, early, or running behind can help teams make adjustments that will get everything back on track. Why do Scrum teams have daily stand-ups? Short daily stand-ups, also referred to as the daily Scrum, ensure that the sprint is on track and team members have the tools they need. This allows information to flow freely and promotes communication. During the Scrum, team members stand at their desk and list the work they have completed since the last meeting. Each person also relays any impending obstacles and state what they're preparing to do next. What are sprint retrospectives? After each sprint, a longer retrospective meeting uses open discussion to help fine-tune the development process for the future. This is a time for each team member to reflect on the aspects of the sprint that went well and areas that might need improvement. Sometimes the retrospective facilitator will use games or icebreakers to ease the team into these insightful conversations. Scrum is a flexible, agile development method where continuous improvement should be embraced by every team member.